We just got done putting in a 10 by 50 connected to a 10 by, I believe, 15 or 18. And this is what it looks like when we leave. We got some damn good excavators. And this is in the middle of the woods. So it was a tough install. Some of my guys have been here for 2 weeks. I've been here for almost 2 weeks. There's the one-way valve septic right there. That only lets the oxygen go out as it's depleted. When the water takes up the space inside the septic tank, it blows air out of there. And then we have a separate system hooked to it 10 feet away that pulls the water out and irrigates it. And we haven't buried that tube yet, right there. But there's that, and that can be buried, put a rock over it. We got 2 air vents coming out of the ground on this one. This customer is building a house over it. So for right now, we've got the air vents. It's buried at 4, it's got 4 feet of dirt on it coming out of the ground. But what we'll do, and what we didn't explain on the show, is if this bunker was gonna be here with no house, we would dig down at least 2 or 3 feet and we'd run those air vents deep into those woods. But they're getting a house put over it, so we can't do anything like that yet. But we're standing on the bunker right now. There's the giant water tank. It's buried underground right there. It has a hidden valve that goes to it, and everything has one way on it. The NBC filter pulls air in through there, and then the blast valve's connected there. If a bomb goes off and it gets overpressurized, that'll release air. It can't let anything in. It can only push air out through a bladder. That one right there is air in going into our NBC filters, and we build our own NBC filters. We order the filters, the cartridges, from Iraq or Iran, one of those countries that need them. But that's the air in, and that's the blast valve letting air out. And like I said, I've said it 100 times on camera, if there were not building a house over this and pouring a slab over this, we would dig down probably 2-3 feet. We'd trench all the way into those woods, and we'd either run them up trees and paint them brown to look like trees, or we would just bury them in the middle of the woods, is what we would do with the air vents. Lots of people see the show, they're like, oh, the air vents, someone can put something down in there. Well, you can't. There's screens every 3 inches in there, and we do that at the plant. So that you can't put, if you put something through the first screen, you got a second, third, fourth, all the way down through the entire thing. So those would be normally ran way off into a field somewhere, up a tree, whatever. But because they're building a house over this, we can't do it yet. There's the lid right there. The lid weighs about 380 pounds, and it has 500-pound shocks on it to help you lift it. And we'll walk through the bunker in a second. That's my generator. I'm waiting at this job site for the giant diesel generator to get here, and we're going to bury that and a diesel tank somewhere in this area, and that way they can turn it off and on from inside the bunker. It's hooked to the fuse panel. But that's the lid to get in, and then I'll walk over here. It's a big bunker. It's not a huge multiple unit bunker, but when you get a 10 by 50, which is as big as we can build, unless we build it on site in the hole, we can build as big as you want. But if it's 10 by 50 sections, it's huge. I'll throw some video of the crane that lifted it, the 120-ton crane that lifted it. Let's see, right about here, by this valve, is the escape hatch. It's underneath this dirt. It's about 1 foot underground. And what that is it's full of sand. And the sand, it's real thin, light sand. And that way when you pull the emergency escape hatch to get out, sand falls in on you, and not a big giant rock or a bunch of dirt. Sand falls in on you. Actually, I think this is the edge of it right here. Oh, that's the water tank, sorry. It's like right in here somewhere. I'll show you in the inside. But this property is 150 acres. The middle of it's all woods. We dug out all the woods. You can see the busted trees. And put it right here. It's perfect. It's not near the road. It's a great location for a bunker, high and dry. We plateaued it so the water would go to the farm field behind it. And it took a few days to get it in the ground because it was so big. And then all of our plumbing and pipes, everybody asks questions about that, they run through the bottom rails of the bunker. So they're 16 feet in the ground under the bunker, running the beams. That's where all of our utilities and everything go, is underneath the beams on top of the slab that it's bolted to. So trying to explain things to people. And no, you could not put stuff down in there. There are so many safety valves in that thing. It wouldn't make it down there, and the MBC filter isn't going to care what you pour in there. This right here, we always do this as a bonus. This bunker has video cameras that are in those trees, and we had to trench the trees to get the video cameras in there. And we also ran cable and phone and internet just in case they ever want to hook that to it. It's pre-ran into the bunker. They would not want to dig this thing up to do that.